Hello all you people, this is Freddy is the Champion, and today I'm gonna do a review of a Queen album. Right? And, well, before I want to do the review, I have to say, I'll mention two things. Okay, first thing is I have a kind of condition which is called Mobius syndrome, which affects me that my certain nerves in my face don't work properly, and which has the effect on me that I can't really show um, facial expressions like normal people. But yeah, and that's why I look like this. That's why my mouth is always a little bit open because there's certain nerves in my face that don't work. And another effect of the Mobius syndrome is, well, you will probably see it when I'm holding my album, which I will review. Um, well, these are my hands, and yeah, as you can see, it's only one finger on the left side and four fingers on the right side and right hand, and yeah, it, just so that you know that you don't be scared or something like that when you see you're gonna see my hands for one time. And yeah, and that's pretty much yeah, about the Mobius syndrome that I wanted to tell you that. Yeah, I was born this way. There was no kind of accident in my childhood or something like that. I was just born this way, and yeah. And the second thing that I wanted to mention before I go into the review thing, is the reason why I did this. I'm doing this right now. It's because a very good friend of mine and had a voice chat with me, which lasted for almost 8 hours. And I think you know who you are. And yeah, and during that voice chat, we talked about um, certain many different topics, and we also did a kind of funny Queen album review. We talked about the album A Night at the Opera, and which was quite funny, although it was more although it was not really serious and stuff like that. But it kind of inspired me to do really serious Queen album review myself, and well, I had it. I'm review I'm reviewing the an album right now. And first of all, which album will I review right now? It's the Queen album, Queen 1. And that's, as you might already know, it's the first album of Queen. And yeah, and it was released in 1973. And before that, most of the songs were already recorded in BBC session, on various BBC sessions, not only one. And yeah, and most of the songs were also performed live for almost 3 years because Queen, as you know, was formed in 1970, yeah, and so let's talk about the album. First of all, as I like to show you, I like to talk about the certain musicians from uh, uh who wrote in Queen, and yeah. First of all, yeah, we all know, I think, we have Freddie Mercury or Farouk Bulsara, which is his name. He was born, uh, and he played the piano and did the vocals. and yeah, he was the lead singer of a band, as you might already know. Then we have Brian May, who played the guitar. Sometimes he played the piano too, and he also sang background vocals. And we have Roger Neides Taylor, yeah, or sometimes you know, most of the time he's called only Roger Taylor, and yeah, and he played the percussion and also sang background vocals. And then we have John Deacon, which on the album was labeled as Deacon John, and he played the bass guitar, only the bass guitar, no background vocals, and pretty much about the Greenlanders. And yeah, in all of the 70s albums mentioned is also in the album, and it was mentioned on this thing right here was mentioned that there no synthesizers were used, and yeah, and all the effects came from Final Thread Special, and yeah. So let's get into the songs. Well, first of all, we have the song, a really rock song. It's called "Keep Yourself Alive," which is written by Van, and it's a really good opener for an album because it's a rocker, and yeah, and we have the intro at the beginning of the song. We have this amazing guitar playing of Brian May, um, and yeah, and it's really interesting to listen to it because it's it's very you can really hear you'll notice if you hear the song, oh, this is Keep Yourself Alive from the first 1 or 2 seconds, and yeah, and also the guitar solo in the middle of the song is quite interesting because it's like um yeah, it's a typical Van May guitar solo on his Red Special. So, and then we have um you know uh Roger singing the um singing kind of a twitch, which is you know do you think you're getting better every day, and so on. And I have to tell you that I'm not too big fan of the album phrasing or the record phrasing of the Roger's Twitch, because um I think he sounds quite he doesn't sound very enthusiastic or inspired and something like that. He sounds a little bit bored. I don't know how to describe it in another way. And yeah, and the live versions you can find on the internet too. He sounds when yeah where when he and the other members scream into the mic, this thing, do you think you're getting better every day? And I like this more because it's more like powerful, and yeah, and so yeah, overall I like this. I like this song, Keep Yourself Alive. Um, well, let's see. One of the best versions I heard from the songs either from Boston '76 or Hammersmith '79, or it may also be Hammersmith '75, because right before the song starts, yeah, um, Freddie hits a C5, which is quite interesting. Let's put it like that. And And when I'm talking about the best version of Keep Yourself Alive, um, then I think I also have to talk about the worst version, in my opinion. The worst version is the second Tokyo Show from '79, and yeah, it's just so it's I like it because it's a funny it's and the show is a funny show overall, and it's one of my honest of most amusing or funny concert of film I ever seen. But and it is at this um you know at the this version is quite as is in the whole concert. Freddie's voice is very strange. He doesn't hit um, the really certain notes, and he has quite problems hitting only normal notes in the fourth octave or something like that. And and that's why I would say the second Tokyo Show is the worst version, or at least one of the worst versions of Keep Yourself Alive. So okay, and then yeah, and yeah, so I would say that Keep Yourself Alive is one of the best. Is one of the best songs on the album. Okay, let's go on. The next song of the album would be Doing Alright, which was written by May and John Staffel. And John Staffel was a member of the band Smile, in which Roger Taylor, Brian May, and Coston were before Queen was founded. And yeah, and it's the only song on the album which was co-written by John Staffel. And it's first of all, it sounds quite it sounds quite like a soft song because it starts with a piano introduction, and then Freddie sings with a very soft voice. That is, I think, in the middle of the song there um, comes a you know um, guitar and percussion, and which was which was which I didn't expect, and they play very loud, and it's just quite a contrast to the um, the beginning of the song, or the first verse, first two verses. And yeah, and uh, I really like that kind of that kind of instrumental part of the song, because it's very interesting for me to hear. And yeah, so and then it starts, and then it gets into the third verse, which is pretty much the same as the second verse. I'm talking about the lyrics. And yeah, and then comes again the big the big bang with the percussion and the drums, and yeah, and the guitar. And yeah, it's quite good. And yeah, it's a very interesting song to listen to. And I also like to listen to the version of Smile with Tom Staffel vocals. And I also listening to the version of the BBC version of the song, where Freddie Mercury sings on the first verses, and the last verse is sung by Roger Taylor. So it's it's about the song in general. Now we have to talk about live versions. Well, actually, I actually like the best version of the song is Boston 76, and because Freddie's nailing the song really, and musicianship is also great on the song, and yeah, everything is fine. And the worst version of Doing Alright is maybe probably Nagoya 76 because Freddie's voice is strange, it's cracking at many moments, or and yeah, due to his naturals and yeah, well, yeah, and that's why this is one of the this is the worst version from of the song Doing Alright. And now the next song is about a nasty old man. It's the song is called Great King Red. It's the first song on the album, which was written by Freddie Mercury, and it's quite a heavy song. Mm, it starts off with that cool guitar playing, that special playing at the beginning of the song, and um yeah, and the song, the content of the song is that dirty old man who's called Craig Red, whose birthday is on 21st of May, and something like that, and also kind of refers to subjects or themes of the Bible, which is okay. I can accept it, although I'm not too elderly. Yeah, I don't like songs that religious songs with that much. I don't like uh, yeah, songs with religious motives, but it's okay, and I really like it. And it's one of the best. It's also one of the best songs of the album, in my opinion. And yeah, and yeah, and then we have yeah, we have the also we have the very good instrumental parts, like at the beginning, or yeah, at the middle of the song, yeah, during a while, between the verse and between the kind of switch um when Freddie sings, "Are you people?" and something like that, and yeah, and it's a cool song, and considering that it's Freddie's very first song, which was ever released on the album, it's great. And then I have to talk about the live versions, and the best live version I've heard so far is from the um, first Rainbow show in March, where Freddie is really nailing the song, and yeah, and it's quite interesting, and yeah, and he sounds very. I have to tell it. I should say that he also sounds a little bit aggressive or yeah, powerful. Um, and if I had to choose a bad version of the song, The Fun Life, um, this was probably well, full version. I don't think there's a very bad version. Maybe Nagoya 76 or something like that, but it's okay. I mean, no, they're not really bad versions, except for the Natalie versions in the Works tour. Um, where sometimes Freddie's voice is very strange, and she's barking at notes, and his voice is cracking at random times, and it's horrible. But for the full version, like it's on the album, it's it's alright. I don't have anything against it. It's okay. Yeah, And well, let me first have a drink. I was sounding very dry right now. Alright, okay. I will talk about Breaking Red. And now we have to talk about, we'll talk about the second song written by Freddie on this album. And it's called My Fairy King. It is, it is quite an interesting song. It's like it's, it's like a song was set in a fairy tale, and it's about fairies and fairy kings, and yeah, and it's also a pretty interesting fact to know that it is this that Freddie um kind of sings on a song about Mother Mercury. Look what you've done to me. I cannot run, I cannot hide, and yeah, and it's also like a note that yeah, after Freddie wrote the song, or the part of the song, with Mother Mercury, he said, I was talking about my mother, and so I'm Freddie Mercury right now, and that's why that's how he changed his name into Freddie Mercury, which is cool, by the way. And yeah, and I think it's a very good version, good song, and I don't I don't see any negative things about it, and it's very yeah, it's like you were walking in a very in a landscape of fairy tale, if you were like you were trapped into a fairy tale, or reading a book, a fairy tale or something like that. And yeah, and as you might know, there's no live version of the song. It's only the BBC version, which is also quite good. It's quite similar to the album version, with exception for a few instrumental parts. And yeah, I like it. I like the song. And then we have another one of my very favorites. It's called Liar, which is also written by Mr. Freddie Mercury. And yeah, it's a very long song. It's about that's about 6.5 minutes on the album, and live sometimes it's about 10 minutes or 8 minutes, and something like that. And it's a really interesting song because at the beginning, um, this of the song, right in the intro, it's kind of like the drums, the percussion makes the noise when like a horse makes when it's walking, and it's just quite good, and I really like it. I like the intro. It's just awesome, and I like the song, and I like the song with the and the first verses are very good, and because it sounds like yeah, it also has kind of refers at least if not nothing into to the Bible, which is it's okay for me. I can take it, and yeah, and also I like the instrumental involved parts. What yeah, it, what no between the verses and the second verse and the Freddie's involved section when he sings Mama, I'm gonna be a slave, and something like that. And yeah, see what else I like about it. I also like the part when Freddie sings Liar, I Have Sailed the Sea from Mars to Mercury. And yeah, he also refers to his name, or his name he has as an artist, which is quite cool because it's the only this talent on the My Fairy King. It's the only time when he kind of refers to his name, except on solo song, Mr. That Guy, where he sings Mr. Mercury, and yeah, no, I like it. So now we have to talk about the best version and the worst version. Okay, and the best version of the song is from Boston '76 because it really nails everything, and I also like the True Rainbow version, although I well, what I don't like about the March version of the song is that he doesn't sing um, the line from Mars to Mercury for other reason. I don't know. Um, and yeah, the funny thing is on the official bootleg, which was released before, Live at the Rainbow was released, there he sang the line, from Mars to Mercury, but for some reason it was left out in the official released Rainbow concert. And yeah, that's my opinion on the best live version of you know Liar. Well, one of the version I don't really like is Fukuoka 76 because it's his nodules again, and yeah, it's not. I don't think it's too great overall, and yeah, he has a. It was very rough or strange, and no, it's not the best version. And well, and then we have um, yeah, the kind of medley versions of the Workstra, which are sometimes also not the greatest version, but it's and because of obvious reasons, Freddie's voice is very rough and he cracks its random notes, and I don't like the versions like the second Vienna show from '84. Yeah, it's not really good at all, and and that most of the live versions of the song are pretty decent at least. That's for example, the Bohemian Rhapsody is something else. It's very risky, and many not so good versions of the song. It's always okay, at least okay. Yeah, the next song is "The Night Comes Down" from by May. And after, I think the song is quite boring because the melody is kind of slow, and it's okay. It's like a song you want to listen to when you're watching sunset, or when you're going to bed, or I don't know. Um, but that's okay. I can accept it as that there are much worse songs that Queen wrote. By the way, I don't think there's any there's any song of Queen I really don't like. But yeah, the songs that I don't like is not just other ones, and that's just, yeah, that's it. And yeah, and like also on um like also on my favorite king, and uh there's no really live version of the song for at least for the all the book on all the bootlegs that are available until right now. But there's a BBC version of the song, and it's I think it's called the Delaying Leia or something like that. I can't pronounce it right now. But anyway, it's quite okay. It's cool, and yeah, it's not a typically Queen song, but yeah, on the other hand, there's not really a typically Queen song, but yeah, it's okay. It's one of the weaker numbers on on the album. And then we have the very first song on the album by a certain person, which is called Roger Taylor, the drummer of Queen. And yeah, the song is called Modern Tent Rock and Roll. And yeah, it's pretty good. I really like Roger's voice, and that's why I also have a few of his solo albums, and it's quite good. Although it's a very short song. It's about only it's not even 2 minutes long. Yeah, it's quite short, but yeah, it's cool. And let's see here. I, yeah, certain various live versions of the song, that which are also sung by Freddie. And yeah, and but I think it would be interesting, to listen to hear Roger actually sing the song and not Freddie, because I think it's kind of fits to would fit to Roger's voice better than to Freddie's. Although I do like Freddie's uh, version of the song too, and voice on the song too, and it's alright for me. And yeah, and then we have best version of the song. I have to say maybe it's probably the first Rainbow Show from March, and yeah, and it's quite um it's quite good. Freddie's in great voice, all in great shape overall, and he knows the song, he knows all the keynotes. It's quite good, and yeah, and one, but for some reasons I don't really like the version of the second Rainbow Show from November '74. It's probably because Freddie's voice doesn't sound as fresh anymore, and I mean he's not in very bad shape, and his shape is okay, and actually quite good. I don't like the way he sings it, because it's kind of aggressive, or he don't know, he's not it's not his best version. Let's put it like that. And yeah, and then we have a song called "Sun and Daughter" by Twilight, written by Twilight. And this one is very interesting, because always reminds me of some songs by Led Zeppelin, because it sounds so heavy, and yeah, from the lyrics are quite repetitive, like "I want you to be a woman" or something like that, and um yeah, and I like it. It's it's very as I just said, it's very heavy, but and yeah, and it's I also like the fact that Freddie is daring to sing on at least on the studio version of the song the word shit, but on the live version he doesn't. He just leaves out the word or says instead of shit he says kind of yeah something like that. And but I like the song overall. Um, and yeah, and well, one of the best version of the song would be probably London 73. Um, and also I like to say that the song that most of the live versions are very long. It's at least 6 minutes, sometimes 8 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, and yeah, most of the most of the live versions have a very good guitar solo, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting song for song to listen to, and yeah, as usually Vane is doing a very good work on his Red Special. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's put it like that. And then it's now we have the worst live version of Son and Daughter. Well, actually, I don't think that too many of it. I don't like. Well, at least there's some. Well, at least it's not. Even though it's not the whole version. It's only the end of the song after. I think it's after. It comes after I think Titan Rock, and it's on the Nagoya 76 show, because it's as I told you, his voice, Freddy's voice is not really good, and yeah, and even though it's only a very short version of the song, I don't like it. Um, yeah, let's see here. Well, the next version would be Jesus. Oh Jesus, I have to rant a little bit about this song because in my opinion, it's the worst song on the album, and probably one of the worst songs of Queen I've ever heard, because it's I really don't, and generally I'm not really I don't really like um songs with religious themes or subjects, and yeah, some songs which are quite cool, which do have religious motives or something like that in it. Um, for example, Liar or the Prophet song, which also is very cool. I mean, the Prophet song from the album A Night of the Opera. But Jesus, it's another thing, because I do like the instrumental part of it. Um, but it's quite cool that I really not don't like the lyrics of it, and doesn't it sounds like a song you would sing in church, really. And I don't like this kind of songs you would sing in church. But anyway, um, yeah, yeah, and I, yeah, that's the thing really, I really don't like it that the song is as its chorus, because going down to see the Lord Jesus. Yeah, sure, alright. And yeah, and there's also a BBC version of the song, just pretty much the same, except there's the longer instrumental section of the song, and yeah, it's okay. I I can accept it because it's it's not too bad. There, yeah, okay, it's one of the worst songs of Queen. Songs of Queen I don't like very much, but I can accept it. I won't skip it if I'm listening to the album. Yeah, and then we have yeah, the outro, which is Seven Seas of Rye. At least instrumental part of Seven Seas of Rye, and yeah, and well, there's not yeah, it's written by Freddie Mercury, and there's nothing really much to talk about because there's no really live version of this version of the song, instrumental live version of the song. Of course, there are many versions of the of the song released on the next album, Queen 2. Um, the finished version of 70s of Rye, and yeah, and but I do like the idea of the of using you know, the song 70s of Rye as a as a kind of outro, and yeah, there's this significant, you know, piano playing at the beginning, and which is which is cool about the song, and they kept it for the finished version of the song, and yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you about you know, the sounds of Fry. And yeah, my real opinion on the finished version of Sounds of Fry, I will tell you on the next episode of my album review thing. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you about the album. I think it's a great album for it's a great first album of a band overall. Although it's not a real, you know, there weren't really big hits. Okay, Sanchez of Rye was released as a single. Liar also, although I don't really hate the single version of it because it's edited very much, and it's only about 3 minutes long, and the original song, the album, the song on the album is about 6 minutes long, and 6.5 minutes long, and so I don't really like it, and I don't like the single version of of Liar. Of course, I like the song, the record, the album version of Liar, and it wasn't a very successful album, but it's okay. I think it's a very underrated album, and of course there are no such songs like We Are the Champions or Somebody to Love or Don't Stop Me Now, but hey, this album is quite cool, and fans of the more heavier music like Led Zeppelin, well, I think they also will like some songs, at least some songs of them too. For example, like Great King Red or Son and Daughter. Liar is also pretty heavy, and yeah, Keep Yourself Alive is not really heavy, but it's a typically yeah, rock song. um, so that's basically my thoughts about the album. And well, let's see. I don't. Yeah, I am thinking about um reviewing all the albums of Queen, chronologically. As I mean, first Queen 1, then Queen 2, then She Heart Attack, on and on. And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this person who kind of inspires me to to do this video project, I hope you are watching this, otherwise I'll punish you. Okay, yeah, so that's all I want to say about the album, and No? See you soon. Bye bye from Germany.